Hello, everyone. Are you ready for a wonderful story today? Let's get comfortable and listen close. Our story is about a very special wolf, a friend who comes to visit him, and a little bit of magic that helps teach a very gentle lesson about being tidy.
Have you ever thought about that? Imagine someone who loves everything to be perfectly clean and neat, and then their friend comes over, a friend who's maybe a little bit messy. Do you think they might get into a little bit of trouble? Or maybe, just maybe, they can learn something from each other. Well, let's find out.
Our story begins deep in the woods, inside a cozy little cottage. And whose house is it? Well, it's the home of the big, bad wolf. But he wasn't really so bad. In fact, he was a very, very tidy wolf. Let's peek inside his home.
Oh, his house was so peaceful. The wooden floors were so shiny you could almost see a reflection in them. By the door, all of his shoes were lined up in a perfect row, from biggest to smallest. And his big toy box? The lid was closed tight because every single one of his toys was neatly put away inside. The only sound in the whole house was the gentle creak, creak of the wolf's favorite rocking chair as he rocked back and forth. The wolf sighed a happy sigh. He looked around his perfectly clean, perfectly quiet room and thought to himself, this is just how I like it. My favorite time of day. So peaceful. I bet there isn't even a single speck of dust anywhere. But you know, quiet times like these don't always last forever.
That quiet, peaceful moment was about to be interrupted. A visitor was on the way. A very happy and energetic visitor who was about to bring a very sticky, sweet mess right into the wolf's super clean house. All of a sudden, bang! The front door flew open. Standing in the doorway with a big, bright smile was Little Red Riding Hood. She was the wolf's best friend. And in her hands, she was carrying a big, crinkly bag just bursting with colorful candies. In a flash, everything changed. The quiet house was now filled with the sound of happy chatter and laughter. Little Red Riding Hood skipped into the room. "Wolfie, I brought you a treat," she said, and she pulled out a yummy, gooey strawberry candy. She popped it in her mouth, and without even thinking, she tossed the sticky, empty wrapper right onto the wolf's shiny, clean floor. The wolf smiled at his friend, but then he decided to get up from his chair. He took one step and, oh dear, his foot didn't lift up properly. His woolly sock was stuck to the floor. When he finally pulled it free, it made a funny little sticky sound. Choo-choo! A little bit of the sticky strawberry syrup from the candy wrapper had made a mess. Now what do you think? If your friend came over and dropped a sticky wrapper on your floor, what would you do? Would you get upset? Would you tell them to pick it up right away? Well, let's see what the very clever wolf decided to do. He didn't get angry at all. He had a much better idea. The wolf knew that shouting wasn't the answer. Instead, he decided to use a little bit of gentle magic to help his friend understand. It all started with a strange, new sound. The wolf didn't say, "Little Red Riding Hood, you made a mess." No, he just let out a little sigh, bent down, and quietly picked up the sticky wrapper from the floor. Then he picked up another one she had dropped, and he tucked them both deep inside the big pocket of his apron. As soon as he started walking again, something strange happened. A new sound filled the room. It was a soft, rustling noise that seemed to follow him wherever he went. It sounded like leaves skittering on the ground. It went, "Sassa, sassa, sassa." Little Red Riding Hood stopped playing and tilted her head. "Wolfie," she asked, "what is that funny sound?" The wolf stopped and put a finger to his lips. He leaned in and whispered, "Shh, can you hear it? It's coming from my pocket. It's the candy wrappers. They're protesting." He made his voice sound very small and crinkly. "They're saying, 'This dark pocket is not our home. We don't belong here. Let us out.'" Little Red Riding Hood's eyes grew wide. She looked at the wolf's pocket, making the noisy, sassy sound. Then she looked down at the floor and remembered the sticky spot where the wolf's sock had gotten stuck. And suddenly, she understood. Her little tiny mess, it was actually making things uncomfortable and noisy for her friend. The wolf could see that she understood. So, instead of telling her what to do, he turned it into a fun game. "I think," he said with a twinkle in his eye, "that we have a special mission on our hands." This is a very important mission.
the wolf explained. "First, we have to find all the runaway passengers, those noisy candy wrappers. Second, we must guide them safely to their real home, which is the trash can station over in the corner. And third, our mission is complete only when the station is quiet again." Little Red Riding Hood's face lit up. She loved missions. Together, they searched the room. Little Red Riding Hood found 3 more wrappers she had dropped. She carefully picked them up and marched over to the trash can station. She dropped them in one by one. Then, the wolf took the noisy wrappers out of his pocket and put them in too. And as the very last wrapper dropped inside, silence. The magical sauce sound was gone. The house was quiet and clean once more. Little Red Riding Hood looked around the peaceful room and smiled a big smile. The wolf didn't have to get angry or raise his voice. He used kindness and a little bit of imagination to teach a very important lesson. And what did we learn from our wise friend, the wolf? We learned that having a clean space helps us feel happy and calm inside. We learned that even a small mess can be a bother for someone else. But most importantly, we learned that you don't need to shout to teach someone something important. And we learned that it's up to each of us to take care of our own messes. So, the next time you finish a yummy snack or a sweet treat, I want you to think about our story. How can you be a great trash station master? How will you make sure your runaway passengers get all the way home so everything stays peaceful and tidy for everyone?